Welcome. This is Fashion, Art and Media. I'm your presenter, Lydia Cutler, and today I have an actress with me here. I'm going to ask her to kindly tell us a bit about herself and her career. Welcome.
Hi, Lydia. How are you?
Good, thank you.
My name is Angela Duguid. As you said, I'm an actress, singer and dancer based in the northeast of Scotland in Aberdeen. I have been doing this for more years than I care to admit to. And absolutely love it. And over the years, I've probably covered most genres of performance in some shape or form.
Right. So you said you're a dancer. I know that you're an actress. I didn't know you're a dancer. Are you a music artist too?
I'm a singer. I'm a singer. I say I'm a dancer. However, those days are starting to get a little bit behind me now. It's getting a little bit tougher to be, doing those things now. So I'm kind of a semi-dancer now.
Right. So which of the three do you enjoy most? Is it singing? Is it dancing? Or is it acting?
I can't actually answer that. I'd have to say all three, because my favorite genre of performance is musical theatre, which incorporates all three: you're singing, you're acting, and you're dancing. So it's difficult for me to pick one out of those. I would say out of those, though, I've probably had more experience in acting. Not to say that I prefer it to the singing and the dancing, but just the way things have panned out, that I have had more experience in the acting field rather than the other two, although my passion is really musical theatre.
Right. So speaking of musical theatre, tell us a bit about what that means.
So musical theatre is a lot of the things that you see, for example, on the West End, tends to tour to His Majesty's, Broadway, things like that. Andrew Lloyd Webber is probably the best known composer of West End musicals, things like Phantom of the Opera, Miss Saigon, that's not a Lloyd Webber production, but Cats, Blood Brothers, I love Blood Brothers by Willie Russell. So these are all productions in which the story is told a lot through song, although there is some, there is straight acting in that, but a lot of the story is told through song, and randomly, for no reason, people will burst into song and go into musical numbers when they're talking about sometimes the most mundane of things, but that's the whole magic of it. It makes it really special.
Right. So your acting career, is it only in northeast of Scotland, or do you travel to other places to act?
No, I used to live in London, so I did quite a lot of work when I was down in London. At the moment, there's very little going on, as you can imagine, although I was lucky enough to be filming yesterday, which was fabulous. It was great to be out doing a little bit of filming again. This year has been, as it has for a lot of people, tremendously quiet. So it was so exciting. And I did a little bit of recording of some songs on Friday for my late grandmother's care home, because they're not allowed to have visitors the same. So I do tend to do a lot of the work at the moment in the northeast, but I do travel as well. I sometimes still go to London, Glasgow, Edinburgh. A lot of the work in Scotland is based in the Central Belt, so it is necessary to be able to do that. However, the northeast is becoming a lot better in terms of professional productions for actors, filming, so on and so forth. So it's great. It's fabulous when you don't have to travel too far from home.
Exactly.
Especially in the current climate, because it's so difficult at the moment.
That's true. The pandemic has made it possible that most things cannot be done properly or appropriately as we used to do before. Anyway, maybe soon everything will be okay. So
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So you talked about musical was it acting? What other thing do you do in terms of acting besides the musicals?
Oh, so many things. Short films. I was it's a short film that
Right.
I was doing yesterday. Um, Background work. A lot of people do background work, although that's not a step into real acting, so to speak.
Hmm.
It is beneficial, to earn some extra cash every now and again.
That's right.
I work in schools. I often go into schools and
Right.
do workshops and short
Wow.
tours,
Hmm.
um, corporate work, corporate videos,
Hmm.
role play for medical students, quite a variety of things. It's very interesting. I love the variety of it.
Right. Though I don't understand how medical students will want you to, to act for them. What you what you act with the medical students.
There's a group of actors who will go in and especially to the local psychiatric hospital and present
Uh-huh.
with various symptoms of mental illness, which
Right.
then the students have to try and diagnose and treat. What the idea behind that is
Hmm.
obviously breaking news gently, because it's the same for whether it's mental illness, physical illness. The way that the students treat the patient is of utmost importance. Kind of trying to foster a good bedside manner, so that when
Hmm.
these students go into the real world and they're having to deal with people, they know how to break news delicately and they don't just
Right.
come out with it and say things. We, let them know how we feel
Uh-huh.
about the way that they have broken the news to us, or they have dealt with us, if they've made us feel
Right.
important, things like that. So I have been doing that for many, many years, and it's great fun. And even though I've been doing it for many years, every session, somebody still manages to surprise you. Somebody still manages to come
Right.
out with something that you maybe haven't heard before, and you're like,
Uh-huh.
how have I been doing this for so long and nobody
Right.
has said that before? It's really quite fascinating.
Right. So when you go to schools, um, do you get to have workshops, or meaning every time workshops, like maybe the whole term, or is it just like maybe one day to talk to the students?
It tends to be individual days in schools. So, for
Right.
example, we may go to one school one day and do a project and presentation on a particular piece of script. We demonstrate that to them, and then perhaps get them to come and direct us to see what their different visions are.
Right.
It depends very much on the age group. That tends to be more for secondary school children.
Mhm.
For the younger children, sometimes we'll be there for a whole week,
Right.
and we tend to then have different classes and get different classes working on different things. So at the end of the week, we tend not to call them performances, because that sometimes freaks younger children out, things, people who are
Exactly.
not so confident. So we call it a show and tell. So each class shows and tells about what they've been working on that week. And that way it takes the pressure off a little bit for those who might be a little bit nervous
Mhm.
of doing things in front of larger audiences. And that's great
Right.
fun, right through from the primary ones, to the primary sevens.
Mhm.
It's great seeing the different age groups and how they're developing. And also when you're
Right.
in school for a whole week, from the Monday to the Friday, seeing how classes develop and seeing how much confidence somebody who
Mm.
maybe on the Monday is very shy and is very, you know, introverted, by the end of the week, see them start to come out of their shell. It's absolutely fabulous.
Right. I can just imagine.
Yes, I
Up
love it.
and
I love it.
uh-huh.
I don't
That's
know when we're going to
amazing.
get back into schools, however, at the moment, but we're hopefully not too much longer. But we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out.
Probably next year.
Yes, I have heard possibly not till after Easter though, because
Ah, okay.
they're trying to limit the number of sort of like visiting people coming into schools.
Exactly.
You know, to avoid additional bodies in the schools, I suppose. But
Yes,
it
that's
may
right.
change, hopefully sooner, but kind of got my head around the fact that it won't be till maybe after the Easter holidays next year, which is not ideal, but if it has to be done to keep people safe, it has to be done.
Yes, of course. So right now, because of the pandemic, does that mean that theaters are closed, or are they open for a few
No,
people?
they're, well, up here in Scotland,
Mm-hmm.
they're closed. The majority of England, I believe, are closed as well, although I do know that one or two theatres have opened up, I think in London. I believe the
Mm-hmm.
Palladium are managing to do some socially distanced pantomime this year,
Right.
but since March, all performance venues in Scotland have been closed. No live music,
Mm-hmm.
no Christmas pantomime,
Mm-hmm.
no musicals, plays,
Mm.
anything, unfortunately. Again, hopefully in the new year, things will start easing. In fact, I was actually filming in the Aberdeen Arts Centre on Friday. It
Mm-hmm.
was just a short recording, as I say, for some songs for my late grandmother's care home.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And the theatre, then the auditorium, is ready for audiences to come back. They have
Mm-hmm.
completely revamped it. It's completely COVID safe, social distancing and everything. And I have to say the
Right.
team there have done an amazing job. It was looking absolutely wonderful. And it didn't, even though the capacity now is significantly reduced, as it
Yes.
has to be for social distancing,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't look like it would be empty. It still looked that, you know, when people were in there and able to get back and enjoy performances
Right.
there, it still looked as though it was going to be quite a busy, vibrant
Right.
place. So that they've done a great job. So I know that they themselves have got everything in place for when productions are allowed to recommence.
Wow.
Just we just all hope it's sooner rather than later, because
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone I know who's a performer is
Mm-hmm.
really, really missing being able to do what they love.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow. Now, you said in London there's a place or two that are open. Do you think
I
that's a
believe
good
so.
thing?
If I think it's a good thing for the arts,
Mm-hmm.
and providing I assume that they have everything beautifully laid out, you know, completely COVID safe and things, as long as they're following all restrictions and everything. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's wonderful that the arts are starting to reopen. I believe, as I say, it's just one or two places. There's
Mm-hmm.
not many places.
Right.
Probably just, you know, but a handful. I mean, the West End hasn't reopened per se.
Mm-hmm.
Theatres haven't properly reopened per se. I think it is just one or two selected places where
Right.
they have, you know, I don't know if they've had special permission or if they have had funding to be able to
Right.
convert the theatres. I'm not quite sure exactly, which is why I believe it's just one or two theatres that
Right.
have done that. But hopefully things, if that's successful, which I really hope it will be, and see no reason for it not to be,
Mm-hmm.
then I hope that the beginning of the year, maybe possibly not January, but into February, beginning of March, then you
Mm-hmm.
should start seeing performance venues reopening.
Right.
Although it will be slightly different to what we all know.
Of
For
course.
example, we'll all have to
Of
wear
course.
masks, and not the
Mm-hmm.
performers, obviously, because that would be a bit strange, but obviously the audience.
Yes, of
Um,
course.
the audience would have to, and you know, you're not going to be able to go in your big groups, you know, friends and things.
Exactly.
However, anything is better than nothing at the moment, I think.
That's true. That's true. Exactly. So if somebody wants to join or become an actress or even sing a dancer, do you have any advice for them?
I think you need to be very focused, take any training opportunities you can. Unfortunately, training at some of the top drama schools and voice schools and things like that is very, very expensive. So If you can even get experience by joining local drama groups, local theatres, things like that, you're still getting experience, you're still learning. You, like most professions, you never stop learning. There's always something new to learn. And something I find very exciting about this industry is quite often you get to learn new skills that you wouldn't perhaps have considered before or thought about. So take every opportunity you can to learn, especially when you're just starting out. In our area, our local college have students who often need actors and things for short films.
Right.
These are generally unpaid roles. However, the experience that you get is invaluable, both for yourself and also the directors and the camera people and things who are making these short films. Again, they're getting experience themselves, and you never know what may happen in the future.
Exactly.
Just keep an eye on things, and anything like open mic nights if you're wanting to get into singing. And anything that you can grasp that may be helpful to you, or it gives you a little bit extra experience.
Exactly.
Anything like that is fabulous and important, because, as I say, the cost of going to a drama school these days is
expensive.
It's very very expensive, and for the majority of people prohibitive, because I don't know quite why they're so expensive. I mean, I do know that they do give exceedingly good training. However, for the majority of people who are interested in that, it's not necessarily a feasible option.
Right. Okay. So do you have a website for your work that you might share with us? Or if somebody wanted to be inspired by you, how can they reach you?
So I am registered on a professional actor's website called Spotlight. So I'm on Spotlight under I say my stage name, but it's really just my name, but with my middle initial. So it's Angela M. Duguid.
Right.
I'm also on Star Now and the Mandy websites. So if anyone wants to get in touch with me, they can look on any of these sites: Spotlight, Mandy, Star Now, and it will have my details. It will have contact details for myself. It will have a list of credits that I have done, experience, what my skills are. So it gives quite a variety of information, so that people are looking for something in particular, then they can look to see if I have got the skill set to fulfill the particular role that they're looking for.
Right. Sounds good. So you also, you did not mention this, but you also get to be MC in events.
I do, yes. I really enjoy that as well. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, there aren't any events to MC at the moment, but that's great fun. It's usually charity events that I MC for, which I love. I love when we can all come together as a team and do something good, raise money for those less fortunate than ourselves. But that's also great fun. And you usually get to dress up nicely.
Yes,
get
of
put
course.
on a nice dress. Something like that you may have created, Lydia. Something beautiful.
Yes, exactly. Well, this is it.
Yeah, so those are great fun. I love doing that as well, and rolling the time when we can get back into that realm, and I can get back to hosting evenings like that again, to try and raise some money for charities that have suffered so badly during these past few months.
Exactly.
I think the sooner we can get back into that kind of realm, the better.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you so much. It's been amazing talking to you.
Oh, my pleasure. It's lovely to see you again. I love that colour on you. Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I love yellow.
Yeah, it's gorgeous on you.
Thank
gorgeous.
you.
You're very welcome, and Merry Christmas when it comes, and
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year when it comes.
To say it, but yes, I know. Happy New Year to everyone in 2021. Let's hope it's a lot better than 2020 has been.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for asking me.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care of yourself.
Take care too.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.